I want to talk about change today. Change is one of those things that shows up in a lot of different ways. Sometimes we change out of necessity because we have to. Sometimes we change proactively because we want to get better, reach a goal, or build something new. And sometimes change happens unconsciously, and we don't even realize we've fallen into new patterns or new ways of operating until we look back. Hindsight 2020. In business, there's this cliche that no one likes change. And I think that belief comes from the assumption that change has to be painful or disruptive or threatening to the way things have always been done. Depending on the size of the organization and the culture, change can feel scary, especially when people are invested in their work, their teams, and the systems they've helped build. When I look back at my own journey, especially building Mission Matters in the early days, change was constant. It could be from literally from day to day, but it wasn't always proactive. A lot of it was reactive. We were still looking and trying to find our product market fit and the right audience that would really resonate with our message. If we launched a product or service and it wasn't performing the way we expected, we adjusted. If clients needed something different, we pivoted. We tried to meet their needs. If the market shifted, we reacted to stay relevant. And honestly, that approach, it really did work for a long time when it came to treading water or making sure that we stayed in business. In the early stage, there were fewer stakeholders, fewer layers, and fewer people affected by each decision. Change could be fluid, fast, and almost instinctual. I'll give you an example. Our original company was called Money Matters Top Tips. And one day I was having a conversation and doing an interview like I'm always doing, right? And one of the guests says, Adam, money matters, which was the name of the brand. But then the guest said, but mission matters too. And from that moment on, that was stuck in my head. I called the other co-founder, Shirag Sagar, and I said, hey, what do you think about the term or about the name Mission Matters? And within 9 days of us making that final decision to change it, we had rebranded the company. We literally changed everything, the name, the website. For some context here, I'd already done over 1,500 episodes under that brand. We'd already published multiple books, multiple authors. We had a functioning media company and brand that was working called Money Matters. And now we pivoted and we changed that on the dime. I think about like with our current team, if we were to try to do that, not that our team is amazing, but it's kind of hard to tell the entire company in 9 days you're going to shut everything down, you're going to start over, and everything they've been working with, we're going with a completely new brand and new direction. Like that was a big change. So in the early stages, not too many stakeholders, and we could get something done big, even something as big as changing the name of the company. But as the company grew, something else became clear. Just because you're a founder or a co-founder doesn't mean you can change everything on a whim. I won't call our full company shift in name on a whim necessarily. It did make sense and it still does make sense today. But as teams grow, people become deeply invested in their projects, their departments, and their roles. Not in opposition to the mission, by the way, but because they care about it so much. That's when change needs to be handled differently, needs to be planned more intentionally and communicated more clearly, anchored in respect for the people doing the work day in and day out. One thing I've learned is that trust inside an organization isn't built by avoiding change, it's built by how change is introduced. Do people feel recognized? Do they feel valued? Do they understand the why behind the shift? When those things are present, change stops feeling like disruption and starts feeling like progress. As Mission Matters continues to evolve, I know our products and services will continue to change. That part is inevitable. But as long as we stay grounded in our core mission, amplifying the stories of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives, that North Star keeps us aligned. Looking ahead, one of my personal goals as a leader is to become more proactive with change. Not waiting until something breaks, not waiting until the market forces our hand, like that's exactly what happened during the pandemic. We weren't at that point. We had revenue coming in from books and from some other profit centers, which included events. Well, when the pandemic came, guess what? Events dried up, and we didn't have that to rely on anymore. So we had to shift, and we had to focus on our reoccurring revenue, which is a big part of our business right now, which is helping other Companies and individuals launch podcasts of their own. So that keeps us solid and it builds a solid base for us. But realistically, the market forced our hand. I didn't think of that, or our team didn't think of it before the pandemic happened. So I want to get better as a leader to not wait until the market forces our hand and to anticipate what's coming next, especially when you think about things like AI, like thinking of new ways that if that podcast market gets disrupted, what's next? Are we out of business? No. And I also want to get better at anticipating where we're going and helping the people around me move there with clarity and confidence. I'm still learning. I'm very much still on that journey, but I've seen enough now to know that change, when handled with intention and respect, can lead to some of the best outcomes we never could have planned for otherwise. And that's something I'll keep thinking about as we continue to grow. I encourage you to think about where change fits in your life, how you're managing it, and really how you can use it to grow the relationships in your life and also your business.